Okay, so first class we installed everything. We have a Jupyter lab already running in your system. So now let's start with the basics, like what we can do in the Python, right? So we will not go in the detail that what is integers, what is variables, and the like any other basic class that goes, right? We'll start with the code, and while coding or while practicing the code, we'll learn what those things are. Okay, so it starts with we can simple things we can do in Python, right? Like you can play with numbers. So basically, what calculator can do, you can also do with the Python. So let's do something like 3 plus 3, 3 plus 3, right? So let's run this one. So yeah, so 3 plus 3 is 6. You're getting is returning it, right? Let's say if you want to do a subtraction, 8 minus 4. Yeah, so you're getting 4. Okay, so let's say how multiplication works. So let me multiply 2 into 4. Yeah, for multiplication, you have to use star here. Okay, so 2 into 4 is 8. It's coming all fine. Okay, let's try a division. So 8 divided by 4. Okay, so it's giving me 2. It's giving me 2, right? So you can see addition, subtraction, multiplication, and also division, right? You can do everything. Let's try uh, something like 1 divided by 2. And we know 1 divided by 2 is something will return something kind of 0.5, right? So it is something in fractions. So the simple numbers, right? The simple numbers like 3, 8, 4, or anything between 0 to whatever number you take without fractions or without decimals, those are called as integers. And when you're something like 0.5, this is called as float. So these are two different data types that we have, right? Okay, let's try something else. And yeah, you can do any kind of operations, mathematical operations here, like any of these, right? You can try it out, try with them different numbers, different calculations you want to do. Okay, let's do something else. Let's store these values into a variable. So x equal to 2. Okay, and let's say uh, x plus 3. So understand this, guys. I have given x equal to 2. So that means x, what is the value of x is 2. Now I'm adding x plus 3. So basically it should add 2 plus 3 only. Okay, let's run this one. So you can see that it's returning 5. Okay, now try something else. Let's say, so x has a value, already know x has a value of 2, right? Let's try multiplication. X multiplied by 2. So what it should return? It should return 4. Okay, it's returning all fine. Let's say x divided by let's say 4. So 0.5, right? 2 divided by 4 is 0.5. Okay, so you can see it is, let's try subtraction also. X minus 1. So what is the value of x? Okay, so 1. So x2 minus 1 is 1. So okay, this is returning everything as expected, right? So this is where you store these values, right? This is called variables. So you have stored the value of 2 into x now, and you can now use x also, rather number, you can use this x to do all the operations. Okay, now we can try something like another variable, right? So let's say y equal to 4. Now try this, let's say, what is x plus y? So what should be x plus y, guys? X is 2 and y is 4. So okay, so now we are getting some error. Okay, so let's check what is error, right? So it's saying y is not defined. And why y is not defined here? If you see, I have not run this, right? I have not run this. So let's run this one, so it stores the value. And then now let's run this one. Okay, so now if you see here, if you get the numbers, guys, these numbers are something that when you run this, then only you'll get. So if you see here, this cell is still not run, right? So this doesn't have any number. That means the run was not completed successfully, right? So if you run it, then only the value of y will get value of 4, right? So after I ran it, I am able to get the value. Okay, you can do similar things like you can do y minus x and it will return you the value as expected. So this is integer, float, and variable. So we covered 3 things here. Okay, now we can do something else. Okay, so now quickly go to, let me add some more cells here. Okay, so now there is something called print. Okay, so let's print hello. Okay, so what I did, I'm just printing hello. So this hello is a string, and when you can call it as a string, anything you call under, two quotes here, like I'm writing hello under the quotes, right? So this is string, and this is how you define a string, right? So I'm just printing this hello. This print is the function in Python, so you can print anything using this. Okay, now let's do another thing, right? So now here we stored number into a variable. Let's do one thing. Let's a equal to um, okay, I'm learning. Okay, and let's try print this, print a. Okay, I'm getting an error. Okay, let me run this, and again. Okay, so I'm getting invalid syntax, right? Why I'm getting this? Because I have not made it a string. So the system doesn't know what is it exactly, right? Now let's run this. So, and then run this one. Okay, so it's giving me I'm learning, right? A equal to I'm learning, printing A, it's giving me I'm learning. Okay, so now A has a value. Let me do B equal to, let's say Python. Okay, now we'll run this one, go to the next cell, we come down guys, and okay, now what we'll do, we'll print. So we have a value in A and we have a value in B. So let's print A plus B. So when you have to add two different strings, so you can use plus in between two different strings and you can print it. Let me just print it. Okay, so it's giving I am learning Python. Okay, there is no space, it's not giving any space because it's just adding, right? So it does, if you want to add space, you can just provide it here. So I'm learning Python, I ran this one. Okay, right, and now if I run this one now, it will take a space. Okay, so you see I have added two different strings. You can do it without storing in a variable. So for example, let's say if I add here, I'm learning Python, or let me do one thing. I'm trying to form a word. So let's say here I added today. Okay, let me give another space, right? Today, and then add A, add B. Okay, so let's run this one. So today is a string which is here, right? And I've added already a space. So today I am learning, which is A I am learning here, right? And B, what is B? B is Python. So you can add strings and print it. You can add strings and variables, and variable has a string and you can still print it. Okay, now try something else. So let's try something like this. Today, add number 3. What it will do? Okay, now it's saying, you can see that there is an error, right? There is error. It's saying there is a type error. And in case I can only concatenate string, not integer to string. right? So it's saying you are trying to add a string and an integer, and you can only add a string and a string. You cannot, concatenate two different data types. Okay, so to add something like this, a number, right, you can make this a string and run this one. So you can say today is 3 or today 3. Give a space, today 3. Okay, and if you see it's returning in quotes. So what does that mean? If you try to print a type of this, right, go to the print and type. So this will give you a string, and you can try this type to print what is the data type for the what is the data type for whatever you place in between those brackets, right? You can use this function to know what is the data type.